Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in today's episode we will be looking at the Canna lily, or simply the Canna plant. So this is not an actual lily plant, it is a false lily, or it is not a true lily if you could call it so. It is a beautiful tropical subtropical plant, and it can be found in Asia, Africa, South America, etc. It is a native of South America and that part of the region. So another thing is that I have a crackling voice right now because I have been suffering from viral infection. So please excuse me if I'm not very audible or I'm not very understandable. But I will try my best. So the canna lily that I have here is a normal canna lily that you see on the right and a dwarf variety. So the dwarf variety will grow only that much. Whatever size you see is the size you get. The other normal variety of canna will grow up to a height of 3 meters, and it can grow really big. So you can find a lot of different colored flowers on this. So you can find pink, you can find multicolored flowers, oranges, lot of shades of yellow, red, etc. So the one that I have on the right is orange, and the one that I have on the left is dark red. So I kind of want to collect a lot of cannas with different colors. That's kind of become my passion because I love the canna plant, and who doesn't love beautiful plants with good foliage as well as flowers. So there is a variegated variety as well, which is called the Tropicana, which is quite famous for its foliage. So people grow that plant even under shade because this plant really loves full sun. So if you want this to flower, it needs real full sun. So the variegated one, that is the Tropicana, it will give out its beautiful foliage sans the flower when kept under shade. So here I have two containers. So you can see the dwarf variety was in a container that was a little bigger. So I'm using another container which is slightly bigger. So I think probably 2 inches or 3 inches bigger than that. I have a drainage hole at the bottom. Drainage is very important for all plants. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is that the canna lily can tolerate little more of a boggy condition or waterlogged condition. So do not worry about overwatering the plant, especially if it is under full sun. However, drainage is important, and we are using some drainage materials at the bottom. Now I will be adding some sand. You can add garden soil also, you can just avoid sand completely. So I'm using 80% compost and 10% sand and 10% garden soil. So you can use 20% of garden soil instead, and that's perfectly fine. So this can tolerate, like I said, waterlogged conditions. So if your garden soil is a little more clayey, then you do not really need to amend the soil with a lot of sand. This will do perfectly fine. So this plant is grown from rhizomes and as well as with the help of seed propagation. It is easier to propagate this plant with the help of separating the rhizomes. I will not be showing how to separate the rhizomes here, but I will definitely show you how the rhizomes look like, and it is very easy. There is no rocket science. You can just clip it, snip it, and drop it in the container. So I'm using a lot of compost here because the canna really loves very organically rich soil. So you can see the cannas naturally growing near bogs where there is a lot of organic matter concentrated. So you kind of need to replicate that natural surrounding for them in your container. So the canna also has a tendency of clumping up. It clumps up really well, so you can use it as a focal point in your garden as well. So for me, the blooms generally start from the month of November and ends probably in the month of May. It is a summer blooming plant. It loves the heat, the warmth, and it does really well in tropical and subtropical areas. So if you are living in a frost affected area where you get a lot of snow, what you can do is during the winter months you can just dig out the rhizomes and you can store it indoors where it is really warm. And you can grow it again in the soil during the spring season. So this loves a lot of organic matter, like I said. So add a lot of banana compost. You can add raw banana peels as well to enrich the PK component in NPK, that is the potash and the phosphorus component. So this would definitely increase the blooms in the plant. Another small trivia that I want to give you is that this is one of those plants that kind of stores a lot of starch in its rhizomes. So this is the plant that stores the most of the starch in the plant kingdom. So it is kind of distinctive that way. So you can see the rhizomes here clearly. You can just clip it at the center and you see two new shoots already forming, three actually. So you can make three plants out of just one big rhizome. A rhizome is just a modified stem and you can see roots coming out of it. So it is used to kind of store food and other materials for the plant's growth. You do not really have to worry about sowing it very deep or at a distance near the rim of the container. You can kind of use your own sense and then sow it inside. So for this plant I'm using a slightly bigger container. So you can use the same size container as you see on the left, because this is a bigger Canna than the dwarf variety. So the bigger the plant, you can make some adjustments here and there. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to go and you have to be a stickler to the rule. So since I did not get another big container and I didn't want to really use a big container, I am using a smaller container here. So again I'm adding a lot of compost. This is homemade compost, so I can use it as much as I want. You do not really have to worry about the roots burning, etc. Like when you use chemical fertilizers, you need to really be careful about the roots burning and the plant can eventually die. So with organic compost or with organic methods of gardening, you do not really have to worry about all these things. So the same proportion that I've used in the other container, I'm using in this container as well. I'm just backfilling the entire container with a lot of red sand that Bangalore is famous for. So I will be keeping this in a position where it gets full sun. You cannot grow this indoors, because if you grow this indoors, you will not get those lovely flowers. You need to water this consistently. If you do not water this consistently, then the edges of the leaves can burn and you will get browning at the edges of the leaves. So I'm using rainwater because rainwater is the purest form of water that you can use. You can use tap water as well. There is no issue. So that is it, folks. I hope you bring a Canna home soon, and it is very easy to take care of this plant if you give it the right conditions, that is full sun, good watering and a lot of organic matter. So until then, we will see you soon. However, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you liked this video and this channel.